Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of CLX Foundry Live, where we go deep inside somebody's computer. We build it from the ground up. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and joining me live from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, it's our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and our master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Gentlemen, hello. How has your weather been?
Hi.
Not bad. It's been warm.
Oh, yes.
But not as much rain, so that's good.
Less terrible than before? Perfect. Nice. All right, so we have got a project for Carlos in Arkansas.
That's right. That's going to be a big
There's no W, so I refuse to call it Arkansas.
Or Arkansas. If it's Arkansas...
Automatic rifle, Kansas. There we go.
That's my logic.
Kansas.
If it's Arkansas, it's got to be Kansas.
Not a miter saw, not a nothing.
That's how we can our saws.
Over on the YouTube, we got Carlos Larry Sr. Hello. Is that you, Carlos?
I believe it is.
Let's go. Nice. All right, I'm going to put you over here on the left side just so it's prioritized in how I see these things. Yeah, so let's go ahead and go through what we're going to be putting in this machine because Carlos is super excited about it.
Alrighty, so Carlos has configured a top-of-the-line system off of our website. So starting out with our processor, we've got the AMD Ryzen 9 9950X3D. To cool that, we've got our CLX Quench 360 AIO in black with the RGB pump. And for our motherboard, we've got the Asus ROG Crosshair X870E Hero. Very top-of-the-line motherboard here. It's been a while since we've had a top-of-the-line Asus board, so excited to get into that. For our memory, we've got 2 sticks of G-Skill, 32 gigabyte DDR5, 6000 speed. This is the Trident Z5 in black with the RGB heat spreaders. And for our hard drive, or our SSD in this build, we've got a 4 terabyte Western Digital SN850X. This is the WD Black NVMe M.2 drive. This is an extremely fast drive, and it being a 4 terabyte is pretty impressive. For our video card, we've got an RTX 5090 from Zotac. This one looks really awesome. It has some copper brass coloring on it. And then for our case fans, we've got 10 of our EK 120mm RGB fans. These ones are really nice. I know, Zach, you've built these before. They daisy chain together in kind of a unique way. So we'll talk about that a little bit once we get further into the build. And then for our power supply, we've got the MSI Mag A1250GL. So this is a 1,250 watt, 80 plus gold, fully modular power supply.
Nothing says 1250 like knowing that 1300 is just too much. If you're new to the show, welcome in. We do this as a live build with an opportunity to help teach you how to better build your own system should you decide to do it without our help. So if you'd like to know more information or have questions, just feel free to ask. Dump it in the chat. We'll answer if we can. So very happy. So Carlos is obviously this is his PC. And we're going to get this all taken care of. We dig it a lot. We've got Carter over on the purple side. Hi. Welcome. What's going on?
What's up, Carter? Aaron Carter.
Oh, sad panda.
Dude, my kid was watching Lizzie McGuire on her tablet, and Aaron Carter was in one of the episodes. I was like, this is crazy. Such a blast from the past. I didn't even know you could still watch that show.
I didn't know that they would even syndicate anything with Aaron Carter in it.
Yeah, this was like, do you remember Lizzie McGuire? Did you ever watch that show? Disney Channel?
I went to coffee with her once, but it wasn't that interesting. What?
What? No.
Lizzie McGuire? Okay. No, I know the name of the show, but I have no idea what it was about.
Gosh, okay.
Was it a Disney or a CW?
It was a Disney show.
That's why.
Hillary Duff.
Oh, I love Hillary Duff.
No, Paul. Whoa, Mister.
But
Hannah Montana is Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, that's Miley Cyrus. This isn't Miley.
Have you? Oh, I've told you this before already, haven't I?
When you have an older sister in charge of the TV.
I thought
this is my childhood right here.
Hillary Duff was a different show.
Yeah, Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, she's a person.
Wow, that's
Even
all right,
Steven,
so here,
Shia LaBeouf.
Here's a fun moment that that's going to drive everybody nuts.
I cannot hear you. Can you hear
the up and can you hear me now? Testing. Hello. Everybody else can hear me. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Reconnect. Turn it off. Turn it back on again.
I'll
There
give
it
you
is.
the big box.
Ta-da!
There we go.
All right. So up until I started nannying, I had never figured out that Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus were the same people. And I was nannying, and she was on. And Hannah Montana was on. And I said in front of the gal whose kids I was nannying before she left for work, I said, "Did you ever notice how she looks just like Miley Cyrus? Is this like a show about her? And are they even related?" She says, "That is Miley Cyrus." Hannah Montana's Miley Cyrus?
It's a show about Dolly Parton.
Yeah. It's like you're watching Clark Kent take off his glasses. You're
Yeah,
like,
I felt real stupid real fast. Very, 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 very quickly. Okay. Uh-oh. TwitchCon is alive. That's a good thing. All right, let's start with we'll start with our motherboard real fast. So I want to talk about this before we put that in there, buddy. We've got a motherboard. There's an Asus ROG Crosshair X870E Hero. This thing is wicked. When we say top of the line motherboards, this is it. As you can see, we've got all that reflective elements on there. Some incredible heat sinks on there. But what's really cool is this connectivity on the back port. First of all, it comes all in black. And for our ports back here, we're going to have two USB 4 ports on there. Those are 40 gigs as two USB Type-Cs, right? Then we're going to have 8 different USB Type-A, USB 10 gig ports, 6 Type-A, 2 Type-C. You've got your HDMI port up at the top. You've got your Wi-Fi modules. And then here's where it gets really fun. We've got 2 different Ethernet ports. You got a 2.5 gig Ethernet port by Intel. Then you've got a Realtek 5 gig Ethernet port on top of your, obviously, your optical out, your BIOS, and your clear CMOS. So let's talk about that for a second, because it's not something we see very often on the show. And Paul, how does it work when you've got 2 different Ethernet ports? Which one do you use first?
All right, so you definitely want to populate the faster one first, which is going to be that 5 gig there at the top. You might not be reaching those speeds, but you might as well be plugged into there in case you can.
Right.
2.5 is still really fast, so.
Yeah. Can't agree. So why would one need 2 ports?
There's some cases where you would want that if you were setting up like a home network, or you had like a server you were gonna connect to, or you just want a second connection for other reasons. There's a few other reasons out there. Most of the time, though, you just need one nowadays.
Well, that is amazing. You know what we have 9 of, though? We have Ryzen 9s.
Ooh. Ryzen
9 9950X3D is the processor. This is going to be the brain of the motherboard. The motherboard basically is the body. You put your brain in there, so you got to get something started. And that's what that's going to do. Paul, tell us a little bit about this incredibly wild processor.
So this is a 16
What did he just
core.
say?
The case is the skin, the biggest organ of the computer. So this is a 16-core, 32-thread processor. It's got a base speed of 4.3, and it will go all the way up to 5.7 with its boost clock. So this is a very top-of-the-line processor from AMD here. It performs great. It's going to be able to do gaming, editing, anything you throw at it, this thing is going to handle.
Now, there is something interesting on here. That's the X3D moniker, and that means what? And how does that affect performance?
So we started seeing the 3D on AMD processors, maybe, I don't know if it's even been a year yet. It's a new thing that AMD is doing, and it's a way of their Vcache being stored on the CPU. So you used to have it all on one surface area, but AMD has figured out a way to stack the cache vertically. So you get a bigger surface area, which equates to more memory for the cache, which equates to better performance. So that's what that is.
Nice. Alrighty. Now, as you can see, Zach is already going and starting the install for the bracket that is going to be used for our AIO. When you're doing this, is there any specific rules to follow when you're getting that bracket installed and placed on the motherboard?
With the Intel system, they will have a backplate that you need to install. With the AMD system like this, you're just wanting to install the posts. And we just want to verify that we've got some thermal paste going on. And
Thermal paste, what's that?
oh yeah, that is our heat transfer solution. And you can get upgraded stuff, upgraded thermal paste to make your system run a little bit cooler. But then we just want to bounce around from corner to corner, not in a full circle.
Yes.
So we don't apply pressure on one side, but even pressure across the whole surface.
There we go. Now, what he's attaching is the pump part of the AIO, and this is the CLX Quench 360 millimeter AIO black in RGB. This is a way of cooling the processor, because obviously they get really hot. There are 3 different ways to cool a processor. Paul, what are they?
So the main ways to cool processor is going to be with air or with liquid. Now, since we're using an AIO, this is going to be a liquid-cooled system. So you can see this is our radiator right here. All the liquid is already inside of these. That's what makes these AIOs great. Is you don't have to do anything to them, fill them, or drain them, or do anything like that. You just grab the right set of hardware that matches your motherboard, install it like Zach did, and you're good to go. If you're going with an air cooler, that would be, those are also easy to install, but they don't tend to perform as well as an AIO does. Now, there are some aftermarket air coolers that can perform pretty well. So if you really want to go with air cooling, look at some of those options. There's a lot of good brands out there. Noctua is kind of the one that everybody knows that performs really well. But for me, I prefer going with an AIO.
Uncut Jane asks, how long does pre-applied thermal paste last?
So it can last a very long time. Typically, it's not something that you're going to have to like change out every 6 months or a year or anything close to that. I pretty much never change my thermal paste unless you're taking it off for any type of maintenance. If we're taking this AIO off in any way, even like in testing, let's say we're testing this after it's built and the processor is bad, and we take it off, I'm going to go ahead and remove that thermal paste and put new one on. Even though we just did it. It's just good practice anytime you take the cooling, whatever you're using to cool it off, to apply new thermal paste.
There we go. Now, one thing that we missed on the upside, well, let's talk about what's in his hand right now. This is going to be our M.2, and this is basically where the operating system is going to go. Now, for this, it is going to be a 4 terabyte Western Digital SN850X in black. It's an M.2. This is a hardcore, like, super fast, ridiculous M.2. What is that? What is an M.2 there, Paul?
So an M.2 is our storage solution, like you were saying, DJ. So this is a 4 terabyte NVMe drive. So this is a huge. What's great about the NVMe drives is there's no SATA cables. You can see Zach installed it in 1 second on the dot. So no cables need to be ran. Our operating system's going to be on there. We're going to obviously have room for a bunch of games and stuff like that. There's other M.2 slots on this case or on this motherboard under these heat spreaders. So if you ever want to add more, you got plenty of options there. And then obviously, like if you're doing a HDD in the case, you've got SATA ports on the side as well.
Parrish over there on the YouTube is like, "Are you recording? Is this live?" Yes, it's live. Clearly, it's live. That's how we interact with other people's comments.
Those are
that whole communication that doesn't involve any type of I don't know, quantum mechanics. So it just,
those are chat
that's just how we go.
We pre-programmed
right? There we go.
Before the show.
It's not pre-recorded. Stop lying. Parrish is over here on Twitch like, what? Devaluna, hello. Welcome in. What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you indeed. One thing we didn't get a chance to cover is the memory for this build. So Carlos chose to get two 32 gig sticks of G.Skill Trident Z5 DDR5 6000. The DDR5 6000 is what I have as well, and it's incredible. I mean, 64 gigs already that are only going to be going into the 2 and 4 slot, which means that there's an opportunity for expansion. How does that help?
So we've got, like you said, slots 2 and 4 populated there. Each one of these is 32 gigs, so a total of 64 gigs of system memory in this build, which is a ton. However, if Carlos, if you ever want more, you got 2 more slots to upgrade. You go all the way up to 128 with those 2 open slots. You just want to make sure when you are upgrading your memory that you're sticking with same brand and same speed and same capacity. Just for it to flow well together. In theory, you could buy 2 totally different sticks, and even if they were slower speed, they should all still operate. They'll just be going at the slower speed, but you can definitely run into stability issues by mixing brands of memory.
Icon CityCom, welcome in. Glad to see you here. It says, hello, this looks stunning. It actually, this is going to be a gorgeous case once we get all the side paneling on, which is going to be fantastic. Speaking of fans, we're going to have to be putting some fans on here in just a moment. And those are going to be, okay, this is the first on the show. We got 10 EK 120 millimeter LED RGB in black. So we've at least I've never seen this. So what exactly is an EK fan?
So these are pretty much standard 120 case fans. Now these are a higher performing than just your regular case fan. These are unique in their connections as well. So they have this 8-pin connector that Zach's going to show you in just a minute so that we can daisy chain these together. And then we have cables that plug into the last one, and that will plug into our regular 4-pin fan header on our motherboard. And then I believe it's a 3-pin RGB, right, Zach?
Correct.
Not a 4-pin. So yeah, so these ones that Zach's showing you right here, these can all plug into each other. So that's what we'll do with these on the AIO.
That's good.
And
makes it so much easier.
One cable can power all of that, which is really nice. So it's similar to the ones that just like connect together, but just a little different.
Just a little bit different? So it's not just, so you still have to plug one into the other, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Got it. All right. Let's just, Icon CityCom says that, yeah, yes, we both sponsor Atmo Esports, and I'm going to say it out loud. I typed it, but I am amazing at losing races in Star Citizen. So, but you know what? If you think you can lose faster than I can, I challenge you. See how fast you get DQ'd from a race. Okay, now when it comes to cable management, this is becoming a new element that we've seen a lot more lately, where we've got interconnecting fans, so that limits or minimizes the amount of cable management required. How is that becoming more of a regular element, and how is that helpful?
It's starting to become more and more widespread. As with most things, it starts out with the very high-end fans, and then it kind of trickles down over time. We've seen a few brands do this instead of the connections where they lock into place to each other, as they just have these cables that go in. This is just as good as the one that locks in, because at the end of it, we just have one cable, which is what we're going for here. Like you mentioned, it helps with cable management and your tie-up and all that.
Nice. All right, now we're going to get this on here. Now there's 10 fans, which means that we've got a bit of a different layout in this, because we're using a SET Constellation C8 chassis. I'm not familiar with this chassis.
So this one's going to be similar to an 011.
It looks like an...
if you're familiar with those, we're going to have 3 fans in the bottom, 3 in the side, and 3 in the top with 1 exhaust.
Got it. Okay. There we go. And we got the dark colored grommets there, so you can try and get that. The one thing we're going to do is place that motherboard on what we call standoffs, and that's those little nubbins you saw on the back before he set the board down. What are those little nubbins, and what do they do? How are they helpful?
So the standoffs separate the motherboard from the chassis of the case. We wouldn't want our motherboard to be screwed directly to the chassis, because that could cause it to short out and obviously either brick the whole motherboard or just cause some minor issues that would be really hard to troubleshoot. So you definitely want to make sure you got those standoffs in the right locations. I always say if you're missing one, that's not the end of the world, but if you have an extra one and you don't realize it's in there, it can cause your board to short out. So yeah, you definitely want to be careful on that part of the build.
Quick coming in, the Carlos mentioned these are upgraded fans from what I chose. They look impressive. I agree. Over back to Icon CityCom mentions, where are you guys based? The studio and our warehouse is based in Wichita, Kansas. I'm based in Portland, Oregon. Over on the green side, we've got Shit, like Schitt's Creek. And Shit says, is there a bestseller GPU you guys have here? Good question.
90s.
So we see a lot of the 5090s being sold right now. 9070 XT would probably be like, I don't know if it would be our bestseller, but it is definitely up there. That's a really hot selling card. What have you been seeing the most in your build, Zach? Or is it kind of all over the place?
It's either a 9070 or a 50 series of some kind.
Okay.
More than likely a TI variant of whatever.
That's right. 5060 Ti we have definitely seen an increase on. Been selling a lot of those as RTS.
Nice. Nice. There we go. All right. 58 says hello. Hello. Welcome. So now that we've got the motherboard in and we've locked that all down, can you give a little insight as to how many elements, how many things you need to screw into your motherboard to make sure it's properly attached to the case?
Do you want to take that one?
Yes, so depending on what motherboard we are dealing with, if we're looking at an ITX motherboard, those boards are typically, if I could do an overhead, Jason, those boards are typically a 4x. So we've got this screw here, here, and here. And so this is an ITX motherboard. And then jumping up to that, you've got MATX and ATX. And so we really just want to make sure that we've got all of our posts populated and standoffs set up.
I want to point out Cosworth brings up a very good point, because I keep using the word nubbins. Give me all your nubbins, all your screws and brackets too. Yes, it was a ZZ Top song before technology occurred. No, that's hilarious, because I remember ZZ Top when they were a thing. I used to be able to use a comb at the same time, so.
I couldn't tell you one ZZ Top song. I've heard of them, but never listened to them.
The one that I liked best, or the only time I ever saw them live, was the song they performed in the third Back to the Future film. Remember the old guys, the beards that had the spinning guitars?
All I know is there was a lot of hair going on. That was about it.
There was a lot. Yeah. It makes your beard look very conservative.
That's good. Sharp Dressed Man was ZZ Top?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I do know that one then. But they weren't very sharp dressed, right? Weren't they like pretty?
I mean,
like,
they were in the
hybrid looking?
1800s, so like, you know. Not a whole lot of things to do in the 1800s aside from, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really sure what there is to do aside from cow pies and shootouts in the Western Corral.
The
Prostitution?
1800s. You could be
I'm going to get myself in trouble
work at
here.
a saloon or a bazaar. The small.
What would be
jar
really
bazaar.
bizarre is to work at a saloon.
Kicking those doors.
Apothecary.
Oh, you know what would be great? Anybody who makes coffins. That's a job that never ends up with a loss of business.
True.
Making headstones, that's a little bit more that's a little more of a project.
Not everybody gets a headstone, but most people at least.
Not
get
everybody
some sort
deserves
of
a
coffin.
headstone.
That's true.
Unless the only time I've never had a coffin is when I was a sneezing.
Oh man.
I should burn in hell for these jokes. Oh, maybe we could 3D print headstones now? Yes, Citycom's got a good point. Don't forget, if you've got yourself a Pla ABS, yes. Uh-oh, that is not what I wanted to have happen right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Interesting. Okay. Sorry. It was my mom. We better call back after the show.
Mama Blue.
So, anyways, if you've got a CLX PC and you want to show it off and show us not only how it works, where you've got it put at, and what you're using it for, all you gotta do is post that in our Discord. We've got a very special thread just for that, and you can get there by going to discord.gg/CLXgaming. Do-do-do-do-do. Labs. Ruh-roh. Okay.
I've never 3D
get that
printed
now.
anything, but I have some buddies who have like a little shop set up in their garage. That's pretty cool.
If you have a library card, you can 3D print at the library.
In Wichita?
Yeah.
Ooh.
They've got about 6 different printers, so like
Really?
you can pick whatever you want. Yeah.
I did not know that.
You just you buy the
Interesting.
filament by like the
Like this by the foot or something, like you're
yeah.
buying like
It's like
fabric or
15
something.
cents.
Holy
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
that's cool.
It's kind of cool. Like you just need the files and stuff. So
Let's go print some Warhammer stuff.
I know. I was
I mean,
curious. As
I was
to,
gonna say,
Other
right?
Warhammer adjacent stuff. Don't want GW.
Have you been to HeroForge.com?
Uh-uh.
It's like you make your little fitted miniature. Like you want this hair, you want this hat, you want them to be holding one sword and a battle axe.
Yeah.
Like you want them posed however you want. It's kind of cool.
That is cool.
And then from there,
That
like, you
is
can either
rad.
buy the little miniature, buy the miniature painted, or buy like the CAD file, so where you can just print it yourself.
That's cool.
Yep. Hero Forge. Pretty cool.
Be like a good gift.
You can have glow in the dark filament now. Yes, you can.
That is cool.
Yes, you can. Oh, that. Okay. Now, as you can see right here, we've already got this in, but you notice there's a gap at the back of the case on this back panel. That's because the motherboard doesn't sit completely on the back of the case, which creates a 3/4 or a 2/3 or a 3/4 space alignment. What does that mean, Paul?
So that gives us room for extra stuff in the back of the case. So when a case is designed like this, obviously there's a lot of brands making a similar design to this. They want it to look really clean on the inside. And so that's what that back area does. Where that hole is in the middle of the back, that's where our power supply is going to go. So all the excess cables are going to be in the back. You're not going to even see the power supply inside this build. There's also going to be room for extra storage drives back there, 2.5-inch, 3.5-inch drives, stuff like that. So it keeps the heat from the power supply out of the main area of the case, which is good, but overall it's just an aesthetic thing, I believe. It just makes the system inside, right, this area we're all looking at, look really clean.
Oh, I'm just
Nice.
throwing this
And-
out there, but yeah, I'll take a Mandalorian helmet that glows in the dark. It doesn't have to be full size. It could be any size. I have a bobblehead.
Hell
that
yes.
it could fit on.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah, no, a glow in the dark Mandalorian helmet would be wicked.
Well,
I want to see
think just
pictures.
glow in the dark armor in general. Like, you know how awesome that would be? Just be like, come out of invisibility,
Walking down the
stealth
street.
suit style, and then you're just like,
Right.
glow in the dark.
Like a Buzz Lightyear
That'd actually
thing.
be wicked.
Didn't Buzz Lightyear's armor glow a little bit? I think he had like trim pieces that glowed.
Only when he was at Infinity or Beyond. Before going to Infinity and Beyond, he just was regular colors.
Okay.
I think it was that heating on the color striping made it look like it was hot. Yep.
Makes sense.
Oh, speaking of all things Pixar, the way back in the day when I was in my little I loved architectural design, there was a thing called an up house, and it was a house that was built on a center pylon, so to speak, that had a stairwell in it. That you would go up, and the whole rest of the house sits up on this one weighted base. And it was phenomenal. It was fantastic. Well, I was thinking about it the other day, and I decided, well, I'm going to go look up and see where they're at now with their development. And so you look up House, and do you know what you get?
The show.
The show. Balloons.
The balloons.
Balloons, exactly. Balloons and a house and a cranky old guy.
Yeah, that's up.
Yep.
Cranky old guy is DJ.
Get off my lawn! No, I don't want any. Can I keep it, please? No. Get off my deck.
Tell him.
Get off my front porch. So let's talk about the gap in the back real quick. So we've got a panel, and then we've got an actual opening. What's the difference there?
Yes, the opening is for our power supply, so that's where that's going to be mounted to with the cables going this way. And that opening, that is probably where our storage drives are going to be. Is that correct, Zach?
Sorry?
It's been a while since I did this. Under the power supply, there's like that panel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So extra storage drives can go there.
Nice.
Let
Excellent.
me do this and Can we get like the side shot, Jason, so I can show the storage?
There we go.
It is.
Okay, so back here we've got a bay for 2 hard drives, which is going to be that box right here.
Oh.
And then underneath, if
Cool.
you see this little tray right there, we can house 2 SSDs on that. And then if I lay it down up above the power supply is another SSD tray. So we can hold 2 hard drives and 4 SSDs inside this machine. Lots
Nice.
of storage room. Okay.
It is awesome.
I will snag the remainder of the fan.
Do.
Fan me.
Greatest fan.
Did you ever see that movie?
Okay.
The Greatest, is it, or was it
Showman?
Showman, yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Greatest Showman?
I
Yeah, it's
have n- I did not
fantastic.
see it.
Okay.
I did just go
Oh my
see a brand
God,
new
it's
movie.
amazing.
Yeah, with Brandon.
I watched The Phoenician Scheme. Would recommend. Wes Anderson movie. It's shot all crazy. Have you seen it?
I have
Haven't
no
heard of
clue
it?
what you're talking about.
Dude, yeah, you should go see it. Don't look at, yeah.
Okay.
It should be one of those just go in blind. It is
Just-
crazy.
Alrighty.
The cast
it's called
is
what?
nuts. The Phoenician Scheme.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
it's the
is.
sequel to the the Venetian Plan.
It is great. I don't know about that. I don't know. But it's
You
great.
guys are making stuff
You got
up, and I don't
Bryan
know.
Cranston, Tom
Oh.
Hanks.
Oh, okay.
Michael
Jesus.
Cera,
Okay.
You had me with-
Benicio del Toro. He's like the
Yeah,
main
it
guy.
had to be a Tom.
Who else is in it? Willem Dafoe.
Ah.
It's everybody.
Oh,
It's
wow.
Wes Anderson. It's got everybody.
Yeah, we did Alan Rickman night last night, and watched Quigley,
Oh, what'd you watch?
Quigley, Down Under.
Oh, there we go.
Such a good one. He's such a good baddie.
Yeah.
Get him, Roy. My name ain't Roy. It's Matthew.
Let's see. And it's called the what again?
Scheme.
The Phoenician Scheme. PHOE. Yeah. I'll show you a trailer after the show. It's awesome. It is so good.
And I'm
if
over
you
here
hate
just-
it,
is it
I
new?
understand. It's different. Yeah, yeah. Like I saw
don't
it
think
in
I've-
theaters.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I don't think I've ever seen a Wes.
Wes Anderson, yeah. It's like his shots are just really cool. It's very different, but it is kind of like a weird. It's different. I'll say it's very unique.
Yeah, what his films are particularly cerebral. I'll say that. Yeah. I finally gave in hello. Welcome in. Yes, I just noticed it.
Scarlet.
It is brand new, but it's doing fairly well. Oh, that's a Scarlet's movie. There we go.
Okay.
That explains.
Yeah, I literally just saw a little clip of this where he like walks
Oh
out
my
with
God.
the bomb and he's like, I found this back there.
Oh yeah. How much time's on?
It's got 18 minutes. We're fine. We arrive in 10.
Yeah.
That's the scene I saw.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay.
There's also you also got Benicio del Toro in there, F. Murray Abraham, who is a third cousin of mine. Good Lord, there's a whole
Yeah, I think if you're Wes
Cast.
Anderson, everybody's just like,
Ridiculous.
yeah, I'll be there.
cast.
Yeah, it's good.
That's fantastic.
We'll recommend. But if you go see it and don't like it, you think it's weird, I understand that critique as well. But I think it's awesome.
You know, I'm not having internet or watching TV. I just don't know any video games or any media that's coming out. Lorde released a new album or I don't know what.
Lorde, Lorde.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot about them.
I think it's actually Lourde.
What?
Lorde. Lord.
Or is it just LOR?
Lorde.
Carlos, by the way, asks, is that a common design on fans? It looks unique and incredible.
It is somewhat of a unique design, the cable connection. I would say this is unique to EK. Now, it's not unique in the sense of fans connecting into each other. We're starting to see that a lot more across all the brands of fans. But I would say it's definitely still a new thing. There's some that snap together, so like if you got 3 like we do, you kind of get all 3 in one chunk. You can just hold it by one fan. But we've definitely seen them with the cables that connect them too. So.
Okay. What's up? Amelia XOXOXO6 says, yo, what's good? Well, whipped cream on jam on large waffles. That's good.
I bought some waffle cereal the other day, and I will tell you what, it is pretty yummy.
Waffle cereal?
Yes. It's like a Puffs, like Puff, and oh man, it tastes like you're just
Puff
eating,
the magic waffle?
It tastes like Puffs, you know, Puffs, like that style of cereal.
Like Reese's Puffs? Like Cocoa Puffs?
yes.
Like the little balls,
Just
little rabbit
Puffs,
poop
yeah,
looking
just
things?
just
Like
corn
Keks?
Puffs. Just, yeah, you
Oh,
know,
there we go. Corn puffs.
yeah, good stuff.
Kicks or Kex was a thing I remember
Gotta
as
have
a
my
child
pops.
being forced to eat.
Pops
Amelia
are
asks, how's it going? Going well.
It's going good.
Going well.
Hey, you know what I did the other night, like 2 nights ago?
Well,
I beat Elden Ring Night Rain.
Yeah.
already?
Yeah, we got the credits. We didn't. It wasn't like a 100% run. I still got some bosses to kill that I did not kill, but I saw the credits, so that means I beat it.
There you go.
It's been good. It's a good game.
Okay, so we're gonna do
Nice.
this way.
I finally made it to the end of Outlaw Bastards,
Don't know.
so I can see my name in the credits.
Oh, nice, nice.
All right. So as you can see from this backside, there's plenty of room on the back of this case for there to be for cable management. Makes it a lot easier for the builder to get everything where it needs to be in the right way. What are some of the biggest elements to consider when you are starting and managing your cable management during the build process?
Things I would just kind of look for, and kind of how I do it is I just kind of break it all up into different segments. We've got our case cables, our fan cables, and our power cables, and I just kind of like having everything organized, making it easy to plug in that way.
There we go. All right. Now, the one thing that I would love to point out is what our friend Paul just said back from the box. That's going to be our power supply unit, or our PSU. That is an MSI Mag 1250 watt modular, 80 plus gold power supply. So, Paul, walk us through what this is and how it's different from other power supplies.
All right, so like you said, DJ, this is a 1,250 watt power supply. It is fully modular, so it doesn't have any of the cables pre-soldered in. We prefer fully modular power supplies. They're much easier to work with, and they just look cooler. Less cables inside your system is always a good thing. So typically with modular power supplies, you're gonna get the power supply brick, like I have right here, and then you're gonna get either a bag or a box of cables. MSI obviously gave us a bag for this, so we'll have our cables in here. Power cable, don't lose this, you'll need that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these cables out, separate the ones we need out for the build, and then go. What's up?
As you pull those out, Call Me Cabby asks, why is it gold?
Why is it gold? Good question. So this has an 80 plus rating, which I'll show you right here. You can see this little emblem. It's pretty small. Jason, while you're there, I'm going to put this a little closer. Now this 80 plus rating is a rating for all power supplies. It's not like an MSI exclusive thing, but this is what you're looking for when you want to buy a power supply. There's 80 plus just regular, which is white, and then it goes to bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and titanium. And the power supply gets more and more efficient as you go up that chain. So it is something to keep in mind for gamers. You know, bronze is just fine. Anything better than that is obviously great. Where this could really matter is if you're setting up any like cryptocurrency mining rigs or stuff like that. That's when you really care about efficiency, how much power out of your wall versus what your PC's using, which equates to your energy bill. So I wouldn't worry about it too much if you're just a gamer, but if you are trying to, you know, farm all those crazy coins out there, that's when it's more of a big deal.
or if you have a large hardcore production machine, if you're really cranking out like professional level 4K video, then you're going to want something exceedingly efficient.
Yeah, the efficiency rating
But
is
that
going
takes
to
a
directly
lot.
relate to how much it's costing you to run your PC, which is obviously not that much. And the difference in a gaming rig going from bronze to gold, it's not like the cost savings is going to be anything crazy. I would be surprised if it was more than $1 or $2 a month.
Speaking of that, Carlos, I know we got Carlos over here on the YouTube side, and this is Carlos's PC. We're super excited for this. Do you mind if we ask, what are you going to be using this rig for? Because it's pretty dang powerful. I'm excited to hear this answer.
World domination.
It's time. Okay. Now, as you're pulling this through, a lot of people have expressed confusion or concern about, well, if I do this on my own, how do I know where to plug all the power supply things in? What port do they go to?
So the power supplies are somewhat dummy proof. They are pinned accordingly to where they go. So like you can't play, even though a CPU power is typically a 8-pin, a 4+4, and a video card is an 8-pin, which is a 6+2, you can't plug them into each other. They are keyed a little bit differently. So if you're having to really use all your strength to force a cable in, you probably got the wrong one. So there is that. A lot of these cables will be labeled on the ends of what they are. Like this cable I have in my hand says CPU, it's always good. So that's going to go to CPU, the other end's going to go to our power supply. But just be careful. When you have these in your hands and you can look close at them, you can see the differences, but showing it on screen is going to be pretty hard to tell the difference.
Yeah. Alrighty. Getting that put in there. The other thing we want to talk about is the graphics card. You want to do that now or later?
Yeah, we can do that now. Let me clear some space here. We'll get that thing out.
While he is organizing that, one thing to take a note of is the 4 feet on the bottom of the device. It does keep it up off the ground, and it gives you some airspace in there. Now, you want to make sure you've got a good spot for ventilation, which means usually having it on a solid surface. Paul, what are the ideal conditions to sit a PC?
Something not anything other than shag carpeting is a great idea, especially with a chassis like this. Our intake is at the bottom of the case, so this area you can see between like the this mat we're building on and the bottom of the case where these feet are, this inch or so of space is very important. That's the main way our PC is going to breathe. It's going to bring in air up from the bottom and exhaust out the top and the back. Now this does have the 3 extra fans on the side for extra intake, so we will be getting some intake in from the outside as well.
Carlos mentions gaming and photo and video editing. You'll be fine.
Very nice. Yeah,
you're going to be just fine. Shamosa coming over on the kick side. What's up, Shamosa? How you be? Now, I would like, we offer this one, and we've got usually when we've got the actual customer in chat. Would you like the boys to sign it? Because they can get some silver Sharpies and sign something if you want it. All right.
You can do it discreetly.
And while you're doing that, let's talk about the Zotac Gaming. Zotac Gaming is going to be the provider of the 5090 that we're using. And that is just, basically it's the highest quality card you can get. Yeah, these things are nuts. So when it comes to power consumption on these, how does it differ from previous editions?
So they are more power hungry, but it's totally worth it. It's a 5090. Come on now, it's worth it.
Cosper says, no, all my 70s decor is now useless. Seriously, though, does anyone use shag pile carpet these days? I grew up on shag carpet, and trust me, I will run from anybody's house that still has it. Kid you not. So what's in the packet right there?
This right here is just some accessories. We'll leave this in here for the customer, but probably got some stickers, some user manuals, all that good stuff right here. To gaming and beyond is what Zotac says.
Infinity and... No, wait, wrong one. Disney, don't hate me. Now this is a big one. This looks like a 3 slot. Am I right?
Yes, so this is a 3-slot card. So obviously it's a 5090. It's a big card. It weighs a lot. We will definitely be using an anti-sag bracket for this, and I believe we will be shipping this card uninstalled in the system. Now obviously we have to install it here to get it through testing, so that'll let us get the anti-sag bracket set up where it should be, so that when it gets to Carlos, they can install it themselves. That way it doesn't break in shipping or anything like that. Not something that we love to do, but obviously having your 5090 getting broken in your system would be even sadder.
And when you get it, Carlos, if you need any assistance whatsoever getting it out of the sarcophagus, getting it opened up, getting it taken apart, please do not hesitate. Call our customer service line. Technical support will be more than able to help you. So, that's a gorgeous card.
It is. I love this card. This one specifically.
I like the copper, like the muddled copper or a muddy orange feel to the accents. It looks great.
It looks very
That's fantastic. Now you mentioned that it's heavy. Like, are we talking heavy? We're talking just like, it's thick.
pretty heavy. This is a heavy card. I don't get much heavier than this.
There you go. Go big or go home, people. That's how it works. Nice. Now you mentioned something called an anti-sag bracket. So there may be people in the chat who don't know what an anti-sag bracket is. What is it and why do we need one?
So most video cards are going to mount obviously right here. That's what these holes are for our mounting screws. And typically that's just fine. But with a card this heavy, it's going to start to sag over time this way since there's no support there. So we put an anti-sag bracket here. Zach's already got the base of our sag bracket installed. So when we get this in, we'll line it up there and put the set screw in to hold this in place.
There we go. All right, as Zach works on that cable management, you said you got your grappling hook, Cosworth. Is that in 1 or 2? We're talking about Dying Light, people. Dying Light's got a brand new update with just an incredible overhaul of the graphics. It's fantastic for Dying Light 1 and 2. Of course, we've also got the Beast coming out for Dying Light 2, which is basically now Dying Light 3. But it takes place between 1 and 2, so technically it's like 1.1 or 1A. Ish. Oh, the other thing, Carlos, we want to do, I think the guys will probably agree with you on this one, just because it's a newer design on a case. We're going to show you how this goes together meticulously, so that you understand how to pull it apart when it's time for you to pull out the styrofoam and the packing elements, and then to install your card. Because there are so many different ways that systems are built when it comes to how to get access to the frame itself. Paul?
Yeah, there's even when they all look similar, there's a whole bunch of different ways these case companies design them to take the side panels off. This one is probably one of the most straightforward ones. These just pop out. There's no screws or anything like that. So
Toolless.
No
very,
kidding.
very easy on this. Very good design.
Awesome. Yeah, the NV7s were a little bit of a project to figure out at first. But once again, beautiful case, just like this. Okay, we're getting that in. Now you can see back there where the fan is. You see, notice that the MSI power supply is pulled in there. It's going to be pulling in fresh air from the back, through the grate, and out the back side, so it's not going to be heating up the rest of the case. You're also going to have 6 intake fans.
I was like,
I was getting it ready. I'm like, okay, where do we plug this in? What are we plugging in?
I was like, maybe there's some case lighting. I wasn't sure.
So this has like become my favorite case. Is when I can do all of the case cables.
Look at that.
So the case cables, this run right here, and then we've got all of our power supply cables, and then our fan cables is that little section right there.
That's super clean.
That is wild. I love it. So you got 6 fans inbound. So there's 3 and 3 that are going to be intakes.
I know. That's why I love
Then
this
you've
case,
got
man. Like it's
good.
oh, it's so good.
And then you've got 4 exhausts. So that means it's going to be a positive pressure environment. How does that affect the performance of the machine?
So we're going for positive pressure, which, like you said, DJ, means more air coming in than we do leaving. And that's because we want all the air that's coming in to go through the proper filtration elements of this case. So that will do that. If we had it set up the opposite way, it would create a vacuum inside the machine, which will still cool it relatively fine. But it's going to cause dust and all that stuff that's just floating around in the air to get sucked in through all the little cracks and crevices, and we don't want that.
Yep. I still don't need to do anything with mine. Yeah. No, you guys built a damn nice rig. All right. So right now what we've got Zach finishing up the alignment for all of the graphics card. Let's take a look at this. This baby's going to be big. Look at that. It's like trying to park a Star Destroyer in a Death Star. There we go. Just pop that in. Now, some Asus boards have had buttons. I don't believe this one does it?
Correct. This is the spring quick release one.
There we go. Okay. What's the difference?
So with this card, all we have to do is unscrew these 3 screws, and let me get it in frame a little better. We just want to unscrew these 3 screws, and then we just pull the card up from here, and we'll be able to remove it. We don't have to push a button or anything.
That sounds a lot easier.
It's
That's
easier.
That's a great design.
I want the button back.
I look at my button and I think, damn, I'm never going to have a reason to touch it. It's more for the builders and the people who assemble it than anybody else. Because if you do it right, you don't have to touch it. Your graphics card is fine. And unless I upgrade from the 3090, I will have no reason to ever touch that button.
Okay, let's do.
But I'll watch you guys do it and live vicariously through you.
All right, so near the top of your screen there, where you can see the base of the sag bracket, Zach's going to go ahead and install the arm that holds that in place. Now, Carlos should not have to adjust this when you get it and you put your system inside it. We will leave that where it's at.
Yes. Yes. Wow, that is a big chunky card. Look at that. From this side, that's a thick baby doll. A big baby. All right, as we get this almost finished. And you said this is an easy case to assemble?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
No screws.
I don't know why I was thinking.
You just pop the glass panels on and pop them off.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Really?
This is my newest favorite case because it's just tool.
That's awesome.
Entry.
No kidding.
I don't have to
No cap.
unsheath. Is that no Captain America? Is that a reference to Captain America? I don't understand. I don't understand the reference.
You're not in with it, Zach.
Right.
You're not hip like me.
Oh man. Nope.
Wow. 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 Way to call him out.
You know, pretty cool.
I like to be senile in my age.
If you had internet, you'd know what that meant.
You're right. If I had internet, I'd also be able to have real nice air conditioning installed in my house. But no.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
To get the fancy, nicest AC unit, you have to have internet.
Really?
These days. Yeah, man.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
everything runs on Wi-Fi. All these little computer chips
That's
are in
wild.
everything.
Okay, you don't. No. You don't have to have internet. You could just have a browser, have a router plugged in, and you can use that through the quick exchange on there.
Huh?
You can connect things to a Wi-Fi network without having it connected to the internet.
So I don't have the internet at my house, but I could get the internet at my house? I'm confused.
Oh no, what I'm saying is the router.
I guess, yeah.
Get a router and make a home network that doesn't connect to the internet.
You need to go buy a router.
Oh gosh.
Right, like how does that work? I'm trying to figure that one out. How does that work?
It's probably like one of those little Nest thermostat things to where, like, if I'm at work, I can log into it at home and bump the degrees down. I don't care about that. Like, I just want to be able to be like,
gotcha.
program it to kick on at 4 or 3:30 while we're driving home and be nice by the time we're home. That's it. It's modern days require modern solutions.
There we go. V-Tomb says that is one thick GPU. You are not wrong, sir. PC Gamer 648 says my friend has an i5 and a GT 710 and plays GTA 5. Is there a way he can make it smoother or not without upgrading?
No.
No. Absolutely not.
You might be able to. You could overclock the. You could try to overclock that video card, and your.
Just do not set it on
CPU,
fire. That's our
no.
only. Yeah. Yeah. No.
Nice try, though.
But we appreciate the interest. Chobo.
Tell your friend to go to clxgaming.com.
Yes. All right, now we're getting our filters on.
Chobo.
While we're doing this, we're gonna take a quick jump to another adventure while they're getting these. Actually, no. You know what? Wait, we're not gonna do that right now because we want to see and make sure he sees those.
Boom. Panel on.
Oh, it just really does just snap right in there. Look at this.
What up, man? It's good to see you, Chobo. Me and Chobo go way back.
No.
It's that simple.
It is that simple.
That's that.
Oh my gosh. Well, all right, Carlos. Obviously, I was mistaken. Not going to be a whole lot of effort there. So while they get that positioned, now we're going to go on a quick adventure because I want to show you all how you can get your hands on an amazing CLX PC just like Carlos did. At CLXgaming.com, we go through and do everything we can to make it as simple and easy of a process as you can imagine. So we go to our website and you get to choose, starting out with your case. Do you want a big case, a little case, medium-sized case? Do you want a design on it? We've got all of that. We carry all of the major brands, including Intel, AMD, Radeon, NVIDIA, and even ARC. If you want more storage, we've got more storage. We've got, all the video cards. The best part is you can't screw it up and get something that's not compatible. So if in an event that you select, say, in this example, a graphics card that needs more power than the power supply unit, it's going to tell you, hey, whoops, built-in conflict. It's going to tell you, hey, this is what you need to have for this. So you can either get a better graphics card to have get a better power supply for this graphics card, or if you want to keep that power supply, you're gonna have to go with one of these lower end, like not lower end, but different graphics cards. And once you solve it, it goes all the way back to green. Yep, just like that. And we've got everything you could possibly think of. Extra hard drives? Sure, we've got it. You want to overclock your CPU? You want to overclock your GPU? You want to overclock both? We can do that as well. We can even upgrade your thermal paste. And the best part is the accessories page. So first of all, the accessories page is fantastic because you get to choose about like if you want to pick up a t-shirt, definitely recommend a t-shirt. The hoodies, or not the hoodies, the windbreakers, the hats, the caps, it's all there. And then anything and everything you could possibly want. Keyboards, we got it. Mice, we got it. Controllers, headphones, mics. We've even got streaming gear. We carry Elgato and as well as Beacon. We've got Beacon mix crate, a Beacon mic. That's Beacon awesome. Speakers, monitors, routers, and even a chair. So pretty much you can build an entire system for a studio as a streamer right here. But if that sounds a little too complicated, don't worry. We've got something else that's much more fun than that also. And that is called our RTS section, which is our ready to ship. And there we go. The ready to sip. That's what I just did with sip. The ready to ship section is great. It's divided into 4 different groups. You've got your entry level, mid-range, high performance, and ultra high performance. And this is a good idea, great plan to give you an idea of what it's going to cost to get the machine that's going to do what you want it to do. And then you can adjust and manage what pieces go in there and how you want to do that. I love that design right there, the one with the waves.
Topography print.
Yeah, the topography print. Look at that. I'm sorry. I'm still, I see designs. I'm like, oh, I love it. Yeah, it's fantastic. We've got many different designs for many different builds, so you want to check that out. So, and then of course, all of these also have been tested and are ready to go. And who knows, that might be your home they're headed to. So for all of your future gaming and PC needs, head on over to clxgaming.com and see what we can do for you. There we go. And now we get to see what this is going to look like. So Carlos, are you ready? It's not close. CLX is the king. Yes. Let's do it. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
I love the way the fans look.
Okay, and if you notice, this one is dead. It was bad, so I just ran the system through. So I'll exchange that one out when I get to my desk.
Now, this is the best thing about how this happens, because I mentioned that everything that's been even in our RTS section are already tested and ready. So what does that mean by testing? For example, this is going to be a great example of why testing is good.
So once we get the machine powered on, it goes to our testing and integration department. Now before we take it there, Zach's going to swap out that fan so that it's all good when we go in there. But the first thing we do is get into the BIOS of the machine. We'll make sure our RAM speed is set correctly. All of our storage devices are showing up, and if we're doing any overclocking for the CPU, that's where that is done. Then once the BIOS is set, we load the system, so the operating system. If you picked any games on our website, that's where we load that. If you didn't pick any games, we just load the operating system. We don't put any extra bloatware or anything you don't want on these PCs, just a fresh install of Windows. Then after everything's loaded, we put the system through a 12-hour burn-in or a stress test to make sure everything's stable and that we don't have any issues when you get home.
Nice. And we're going to answer one final question, because Amelia XOXO did have a good one, and this is going to be for Paul. It says, can you suggest me one PC? I'm a graphics and VFX artist.
So if you're going to be using graphics and VFX and all that stuff, I would recommend looking at our RAWs. That would be a good place to start. There's some sets like this one right here. It would be great for that. I believe that's what the customer is going to be using it for as well. So sets or RAWs are where it would start out, but you can customize any of our families of PCs. So you can kind of pick one based on your looks and put high-end hardware in it for that. So yeah, there's a lot of options to choose from.
And as somebody who used to really work for Adobe, with the current, even if you're using DaVinci Resolve, I would recommend, as somebody who does that, I would recommend definitely looking to make sure you have a minimum of 64 gigs of RAM. Probably 96 would be a better minimum range. So, and then M.2s across the board. Because if you're working on a hard disk drive that actually has platters, ooh, that read-write time is going to be painful. So, there you go. Now, in just a moment, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to let you spend the afternoon with Zach as Zach builds up more computers. It's going to be a lot of fun. This show happens every Tuesday and Thursday right here, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. On Tuesdays, we are live on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. On Thursdays, we're exclusively on TikTok. You don't want to miss it. If you'd like to find out more about what's going on with CLX, all the latest and greatest, including our showtimes, all you have to do is follow our social media. That is YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. And that's all at CLX Gaming. You could also join our Discord with a bunch of like-minded PC enthusiasts, and that is discord.gg/CLX Gaming. So, with that being said, when we go to break, we're going to take a... Wait, what? Yeah, we've got a great video for our break, and that is going to be our DreamHack video from DreamHack Dallas that happened just a few weeks ago. So, with that being said, on behalf of Kyle and Jason in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. We've got more after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I love DreamHack so much. The energy is palpable. There's so much happening here. This is the biggest I've ever seen. The space, using over 1 million square foot of space here at the K-Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center.
Can we have Oreo cakes to the stage, please?
Thank you so much for the custom-built PC. Going to the winner of PBJ's Lip-Sync Wars.
There's coldness there, there's karma. There's heat, there's flames, there's lava. Volcanic, what can we do? It gets manic. I know what I'd rather. When I pick up the mic, it's power. When I pick up the mic, got powers. When I pick up the mic, it's power. When I pick up the mic, got powers. Flows on point like gourmet. Need a Michelin star like always. Like conference call on 4 ways. Man thinks this life is a role play. Till they hear about the family drama. There's coldness there, there's karma. There's heat, there's flames, there's lava. Volcanic, what can we do? It gets manic. I know what got powers.
I won the first Red Bull Gauntlet yesterday. I got a keyboard mouse now. That's me, number one.
Keep it moving, yeah, they get tired. Got this energy, I don't know why. Powers. Powers, powers. Powers. Pick up the mic, got powers. Powers. Powers, powers. Powers. 4, 3, 2 in the morning. Yeah, I'm still up, you're boring.
What is up, Scooby Gang? I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend, and I hope you guys are ready for a pretty fun holiday week. Happy holiday if you're having a holiday this week. But yeah, we got a pretty sweet build going on here today. I saw this and I was like, oh, what the heck is that? A 5060 Ti? That's pretty cool.